Hello there, everybody. This is Alex from Hardcore Guides, being my guide for Uncharted Drake's Fortune on Crushing Difficulty. Today we're doing Chapter 7, entitled Out of the Frying Pan. This is just a quick edit. This was from, like, you'll see me redo it real quick. I didn't die there. It's just I had to edit in the chapter name title drop because the way that Uncharted works. But either way, this is just entirely one singular section of just, shooting enemies on vehicles. So nothing really spectacular is really going on. R2 is just your machine gun fire, and L2 is your grenade launcher. So, use grenade launcher on the big guys. If any of the motorcycles are getting too close to you, just blast them with a grenade. And sometimes you get enemies like this just kind of weave around. I believe, well, I'm pretty damn sure it's Uncharted. I'm pretty sure it's all relatively scripted. So, I mean, you can die here. I did actually die in this level. Because this first part, I'm like, oh, this is so easy. Like, in comparison to everything else we've had so far, this is, without a doubt, the easiest level. And I would still probably argue that it still is. But there was one very particular section that gave me some trouble, weirdly enough. And I fear for my life whenever I eventually start doing brutal mode, because just even getting gray in this just happens so quick. Getting into that gray screen just happens so damn quick sometimes. And I mean, I know we're on crushing, so I should be doing crushing advice, but brutal mode, I just know it's going to be hell. There's really not much big advice I can give you just yet. I guess if you want a more, well, this kind of comes into play later on the section that I died in more so, but I guess it just kind of go without saying, but don't try to hold down the machine gun like I'm doing here. Instead, just try to burst your shots to make them a bit more accurate so you can actually hit these guys, because I ended up struggling with that. That tree should have killed that dude. I landed directly on top of him. There's a lot of weird, funny things that actually happened in this chapter for me that if this game was, highly realistic, which I'm glad it's not. I love my cartoony games. I don't mind games being a little bit unrealistic. It's fine. It's an action game. I like to have fun, right? But it's definitely always kind of funny when you do see something like that happen, because Uncharted at the time was arguably pretty realistic, I guess, back then. But either way, that was just one of the few moments that I just now noticed that was kind of funny. When this part right here, too, like the truck, we blow it right up, and it just, luckily, does not still count as, an object that can hurt us. But this right here, this part right here is exactly where I died multiple times at. And just trying to use grenade launcher was kind of hard. Did you see, okay, real quick, did you see that guy jump? He looked like he did the Crash Bandicoot 2 jump when you're doing, or, sorry, the Crash, yeah, when you do a slide jump, and he does, like, he puts his legs out, spreads them out like that. He looked exactly like that. I can just hear him now going, whoa, when he does it. But either way, this is where I started doing more controlled fire and not just trying to hold down the machine gun, because I noticed that no matter how many times I try to hit these guys with a grenade, they spawn too quick, and at the same time, my gun is just not accurate enough to kill them fast enough, because you got to be fast on that part. Which, again, luckily we're in crushing mode, because if this was brutal mode, I'm sure I'd be dead way before this. Because, like, one of these, just a couple of shots right now was almost just enough to take me out. I think it's, like, 3 pistol shots from these guys should be enough to just wipe you down. So, bear that in mind. Even though this part is pretty easy, it still has, its, unfortunate drawbacks of just sometimes, well, with me, not the game, my drawbacks, I should say, of just being an inaccurate shot and messing everything up. Then you got the Marvel level humor. No offense to Uncharted, but either way. Alright, so I'm going to say this, of course, for the next, next chapter. But anyway, I'll see you guys for that one. So, as always, take care, everybody.